So for this video, we are going to be seeing what a logarithmic function actually looks like on a graph, and to be able to graph it based upon our families of graphs, and then also talk about what would an inequality look like. So just a reminder, the reason why we started this chapter with exponential functions was because those are the inverses of a logarithmic function. So if we can understand how to graph an exponential function, then we just change x and y and we could graph ourselves a logarithmic function. So remember, we have this function here, and I want to put it into exponential form so that I have a better chance of graphing it. And if I do that, we're saying what power of 2 is x? So 2 to what power is equal to x, right? So then if I go looking for the inverse, that means switch the x and the y. So that is saying 2 to the x power is equal to y, or y is equal to 2 to the x. And hopefully we've done this one enough that we know what that looks like. And so I will do this one in red. And so we said 2 to the 0 is 1, 2 to the first is 2, 2 to the second is 4, 2 to the third is 8. And then the other way we get 1/2 and 1/4. So this is the graph of the inverse. And then we said that inverses are reflections across the line y equals x. So if I connect these corners here, I'm going to reflect that red graph across that line, and we will get the new graph. So for example, there was the point here at 3, 8. So that means on my original function, I'm going to have a point at 8, 3, switching the x and the y. Then we had a point at 2, 4. And if I switch my x and y, that's going to be 4, 2. And then we have a point at 1, 2. So my new point is going to be at 2, 1. And then we had a point at 0, 1. So I'm going to have a point at 1, 0. Then we had a point at -1, 1/2. And so if I flip that, that's going to be at 1/2, -1. And we had a point at -2, 1/4. And so we now have one at 1/4, -2. And so you'll notice I'm going to get closer and closer and closer to that y-axis without actually touching it. And if I folded my paper along that blue line, the two graphs would fall on top of each other. Okay, so this black graph is the parent graph for any base 2 log. So in this case, the base of my exponential was 2, and the base of my log is 2. So if the base of my log changes, then my parent graph for the exponential also changes. Just keep that in mind. All right, so we're going to learn that the families of graphs still works for this function. So let's remember this. We're saying what power of 2, here we go. So we're saying what power of 2 gives me 8, so that's 3, and what power of 2 gives me 4, and that's 2. What power of 2 gives me 2, and that's 1. And what power of 2 gives me 1, and that's 0. So this is my parent graph. And so this new graph is saying, what would we do to this graph to get this graph? So pause the video for a second and describe that in words. So because it's outside of the function, that's going to be a vertical change. And since I'm multiplying by 3, and 3 is greater than 1, we're going to say that this expands vertically. By a scale factor of 3. So that means all my horizontal positions stay the same, but my vertical positions change 3 times. So we said what power of 2 gives me 8, and that was 3. So now instead of going up 3, we're going to go up 9. And we said what power of 2 gives me 4, and that was 2. And now we're going to go up 3 times as fast, and we're going to get 6. And then we said what power of 2 gives me 2, and that was 1. So we're going to go up 3 times as fast and turn that into a 3. What power of 2 gives me 1, and that is 0, and 0 times 3 stays 0. And then what power of 2 gave me what power of 2 gave me 1/2, and that was -1, and that's now going to be -3. And what power of 2 gave me 1/4, and that was -2, and now that's going to be -6. And so we took the graph and we stretched it vertically by a scale factor of 3. So if we look at the next example, notice this 4 is inside the function, so I could add some parentheses in here. And so then that means that this is a horizontal change. So take a moment to figure out what would we do to the parent graph for this horizontal change. So I went ahead and added in the parent graph here. And anytime it's horizontal, we always have work to do. So that means that if my K value is 4, kind of like when we did sine and cosine, that means that my scale factor is going to be the reciprocal, which is 1/4, which happens to be less than 1. And so that means that this is going to be compressed horizontally by a scale factor of 1/4. Okay, so kind of like we did with sine, do you see that we go out 8 steps and we go out 4 steps and 2 steps and 1 step and a half a step and a fourth a step, right? Those are all the horizontal steps that we've been taking. And my horizontal scale factor is 1/4. So I'm going to multiply each of these by 1/4. And so you'll notice 8/4 is 2, 4/4 is 1, 2/4 is 1/2, and then we get 1/4, and then we get 1/8, and we get 1/16, right? So those are my new horizontal distances to get the same vertical height. So now instead of going 8 steps to go up 3, we're going to go 2 steps to go up 3. And instead of going 4 steps to go up 2, we're going to go 1 step to go up 2. And instead of going 2 steps to go up 1, we're going to go half a step to go up 1. Instead of going 1 step to go up a fourth, we're going to take 1/4 of a step. Sorry, let me say that again. Instead of going 1 step to go up 0, we're going to take a fourth of a step to go up 0. And instead of going half a step to go down 1, we're going to take 1/8 of a step to go down 1. And so you'll notice that this got shrunk. So notice 16 would give me 2 to the 4th power. And so do you see now it would be 4 steps to go up 4? And then 32 would have been the next power of 2 would have been 2 to the 5th. And if I multiply that by 1/4, we get 8. And so 8 is going to go up 5. So if I wanted to fill that out a little bit better, I have a better idea. So again, this is 2 to the 5th and 2 to the 4th. So it's 5 steps up and 4 steps up. All right, so if we take a look at this one, what is this doing to our function? So take a moment to describe that. All right, so hopefully you noticed that the -1 is outside of the function, that if I was going to put parentheses, it would go like this. So that means that this is a vertical change. And because it's plus or minus, meaning in this case subtraction, that means it's going to be a translation. So that means we're going to translate down 1 unit. So I can either start with a new x-axis at y is equal to -1, or I can just literally put each point down 1 unit. So I'll go, what power of 2 gives me 8? That was 3, go down 1. What power of 2 gives me 4? That's 2, but go down 1. What power of 2 gives me 2? That was 1, but now we're going to go down 1. What power of 2 gives me 1? That's 0, but we're going to go down 1. What power of 2 gives me 1/2? That was -1, but we're going to go down 1. And what power of 2 gives me 1/4? That's -2, but we're going to go down 1. And so my new graph looks like this, where each point on the graph is moved down 1 from the parent graph. All right, so then if we take a look at this example, now you see that the plus 3 is inside the parentheses. So that means that this is a horizontal change. So take a moment to pause the video and see if you can tell me in words what's happening to the graph. Okay, so similar to sign and what we did in chapter 3, we're going to take what's in the parentheses and set it equal to 0. So that means x equal to -3 is the value that makes this parentheses equal to 0. So that means that we're going to translate because there was addition or subtraction in the problem. And then horizontal means it's left or right, and my negative direction is to the left. And so we're going to translate left 3 units. So you could either create a new y-axis at x is equal to -3, or you could literally just move each point to the left 3 units. So what was at 8,3 becomes at 5,3. What was at 4,2 becomes at 1,2. What was at 2,1 becomes at -1,1. What was at 1,0 becomes -2,0. And then 1/2 -1 becomes -2.5 -1, and so on and so forth. And that new blue dash, that new y-axis I was talking about, is our new asymptote at x is equal to -3. So this is a vertical asymptote.